Hi there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. Today I have a new book out from Beehive Books by the artist Julien G. This is Myths of Making, True Tales and Legends of Great Artists. So that is the format of this book. Like, you are reading things that could be true. They may not be true. They may be half true and slightly exaggerated. And that's the intention of the book. There's a nice introduction by Karen Green, who's one of, if you know anything about comics academia, is one of the most well-regarded people in academia for comics. Runs a big collection, I forget at what university, but a real advocate for comics as art. And you'll see what this book is it's a bunch of these like basically two color. It's like this peachy color and this like greenish color, and then maybe a darker color. I'm not sure if this is the same color lightened down or not. And then the white of the paper. And it looks kind of like, the look of the thing feels kind of like some printmaking technique, but I'm not sure how much of it is physical, how much of it is done digitally, what the combination of those things are. But it makes a really nice, like, tangible effect on the page. Even though like the brushes have been colorized and stuff, it really feels like someone almost painted with gouache over it. And then each page is like just an image and a little bit of text. So it's not a comic in the sense that there's multiple panels. It's just kind of a bunch of spreads. But it's a bunch of just stories about different artists, and like it says, it may be myths, it may be true. The earlier stuff where we're going back to like the first cave painter, or like the first person to come up with poetry in China, or work like here's Michelangelo working on the David. That stuff, we're just relying on historical accounts. So this book makes no like great claims, and they play with the fun of that, and I like that. And you go all the way from like the very first artist to here Picasso dealing with Gertrude Stein, and I don't know who this artist is right off the top of my head. Oh, Giacometti. So you get a real wide range throughout art history, which is great. I really like that at the end of the book, the last story that they tell is of an artist named Mao Erndugal, I think is the name. This is an Australian artist, an Aboriginal artist, native Australian. I don't know what the appropriate term for that is. But it's an artist who has like a connection to the deep, deep past. So the book almost wraps around back to the beginning, and I think that's really smart, that it treats art as this long legacy and an evolving tradition, but also a tradition that connects us with our past, and the idea of the myth of making, which is what this is about. That there is a mythic structure to how artists have influenced each other, and to see that there are artists still holding those traditions alive. So you have someone doing like really, really traditional art, tribal art, that has thousands of years of tradition behind it. And that it's actually this is something I've read and studied about a little bit, how this has been commercialized and how that's been impacting those artists. And they kind of deal with that a little bit here too, overstepping the tradition. He's both old and new. He's willing to work in galleries and stuff is problematic for people. But I love that that's how the book like starts with like the beginning of art. And even though this isn't the end of art, this is like 2022. So we're getting pretty contemporary and showing that even though all this stuff has happened in between, we still have this deep, deep connection. So I think it's a really beautiful book. I was a little skeptical about it when I first started reading the big images with very little text at first, and the unreliable nature of it at first was like I wanted more like reliable information, but that's just me. By the end of it, though, anything that I was unsure about, it was just a reason to go check out. And I'm always a fan of works that make me want to go find out more. And really, that's what this is in the end. So it's this beautiful statement. And it also kind of, spurred me on to go learn some more stuff. The way it's made is pretty cool, too. It's got, I don't know why, but it's got these really big, thick, heavy panels. Maybe the idea actually is that this story could wrap around, that you could hold it like this. I didn't try that until just now, but there may be something to that with circularity of the story. But there's these really nice like hard cardboard And then it is like glued and bound with some fabric on the side. So I think this is a pretty well-made piece of book binding. I'm not sure. We're going to be learning about that, but it looks like it will stay together. Really like the obvious screen print on the front with the real textured image. It would be so cool to see a whole book printed like this, but I just don't know if that's feasible or technically possible. But maybe as me and Tori try and get our own print shop, we can look at a book, because there's nothing sexier than being able to feel the print on an ink. So yeah, really enjoyed this. This would be a great like coffee table kind of comic that would be maybe more accessible to the general public to start conversations and stuff. So highly recommend it. Get yourself one, throw it on your coffee table, your kitchen table, and strike up some conversations about art.
Sin kvitta håri, þaðan koma döggvar þeir síðala fallast endre í vígrötn urdar brutni. Ask veit ég standa heitir Yggdrasill, hárbáð marei sin kvitta håri, þaðan koma döggvar þeir síðala fallast endre í vígrötn urdar brutni. Ask veit ég standa heitir Yggdrasill, hárbáð marei sin kvitta håri, þaðan koma döggvar þeir síðala fallast endre í vígrötn